Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ashley. I'm a professional cosplay photographer, Twitch affiliate, and TikToker. So today I'm here with Jenn from ShadowBrite Creations, and she is a cosplayer who does a lot of original work, and I'm really excited for her to talk to us today. So hi Jenn, thanks for coming on my YouTube channel. I want you to introduce yourself and kind of give everybody a little idea of who you are.
Well, hi everybody, my name's Jenn. My cosplay name is ShadowBrite Creations. I'm a muggle in my regular life, and this is what I do every weekend because it's fun and it makes me happy.
I see that you're in more of an original piece that I don't recognize today. Do you want to talk about your cosplay?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things I really enjoy doing are original cosplays or OCs. Reason being, well, I love all of my fandoms, like don't get me wrong, I love them. But sometimes you just want to do something like for you. And that's one of the cool things about OCs. So this look is an e-girl. If you're unfamiliar with that subgenre, it's basically a gamer. They usually have a lot of pastels involved, stuffies. I have some with me today, cat ears, that kind of thing. It's kind of like a mood look, but this particular e-girl is called Riri. I don't know why. I pick names out of nowhere.
It's
just
cute,
cause.
I like it.
And we're just kind of out bebopping around. We're gonna do some shots with some headphones and some of my stuffies. But this is kind of a way to let my own originality shine through. So I kind of got a few ideas off the internet. I usually have like a board of books that I kind of look through, kind of like Pinterest, but I don't have Pinterest because I don't need another thing to get addicted to on the internet. Yeah. Let's be honest. So instead I have like a bunch of saved stuff on Instagram. So I'm also not an artist, so I can't really draw my looks. So a lot of times with the OCs, I pick like a single costume item that I want to like base the whole look around and then grow the character out from that. A lot of them are fantasy based. This one is kind of more just subgenre based, but I do them all kinds.
So when it comes to doing your OCs, like how long does it take you from start to finish to kind of like think of the project, process the project, and bring it to fruition?
So that's kind of a really hard question. Because some of them are really quick. Like I find some fan art or something and I'm like, that is awesome. I'm jumping off from that. And I have to wear like a uniform at work. So all of my other clothes are fun because I can only wear them on the weekends anyway, so I can do whatever I want. So a lot of times I have a lot of pieces. Like if I see something, I can just go start pulling stuff out of my closet. Yeah. But other times, like when I'm working on for Lexington Comic and Toy Convention is a mushroom babe. Yeah. So that one is based off a piece of fan art, but the way that I'm going to put it together is I bought a dress. Now I'm going to dye it. I'm working on that this weekend, so that it fits what I want. And I've also altered it a little bit so that it kind of covers my girls a little bit better because it's but yeah, that's the great thing about the OCs is you can kind of adjust them so that they fit you, because you really don't want to be uncomfortable in a cosplay, particularly because most of us wear them for like 10 or 12 hours at a time because we're crazy.
Yeah, like today, she's probably uncomfortable because it's like freezing outside, and I brought her out here. And
it is a little
she's
chilly,
in her crop top.
but it's not that bad. I've definitely been in worse because I like to take risks. But for real, so the original cosplays, sometimes they can be like a couple of days. Sometimes they're like several weeks. Like this mushroom girl I'm doing is probably going to be 6 or 8 weeks, mostly because A, I don't have time to work on it every day. B, I'm gonna trial and error. I've never made a hat that big, so there's some like logistic issues I'm gonna have to work out, which may affect the overall design. So that's one of the things that is nice about the OC is if something doesn't work, you can just freaking change it. Yeah. Like you don't have to sit there and struggle forever trying to get the perfect thing that looks just like the canon. Yeah. You can be like, it's okay, I'm moving this way now. Just pivot and switch directions and figure out something that makes you happy. Because if you're mad when you're making a cosplay, you're gonna be mad when you're wearing it, and that's not good.
Yeah, like my Huntress I'm building right now, I'm mad at it. One of the main reasons that I asked Jenn from ShadowBrite Creations to come on here is because she's not only really good at her OC cosplays, when it comes to like coming up with a photo shoot and, you know, bringing it to life, she has really, really cool concepts. And whatever photographers she works with, like, kind of takes her ideas. And then, of course, we add our own little bit of flair to it. But usually when she brings an idea to the table, we don't really have to do much work with it. So I want to talk to you and ask you about how you come up with your ideas for your photo shoots and your poses.
Well, thank you. That's actually really flattering because I always think I'm flying by the seat of my pants. But a lot of times before I come into a photo shoot, and I'm pretty guilty of not doing this, try all of your stuff on together. I apparently like to make my life terrible, so I only try it on right when I'm about to come to a shoot. But the things that you definitely need to try on are things like shoes. Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, they're ridiculous. I absolutely love them, but they limit my movement. So I have to think a little bit more about the rest of my body and kind of keeping my feet still in those kind of photos. So a lot of it is also kind of logistics. Like I said, with the OCs, I actually have a whole album on Instagram of just poses from different stuff. Some of them are comic books, a lot of content creators, there's actually some clay people that like do little clay sculptures that are really dynamic in a way that really move me. So those are the kinds of things I look at and then I come in and try to create. So a lot of times I'll have in my head like 5 to 10 different poses I really want to do, and then some ideas about how to move through those. The other thing with posing that I've discovered is like really helpful is music. One, because it kind of sets your mood for this shoot, but it also helps keep you in rhythm with your photographer, because a lot of photo shoots is making sure that you are both stopping and getting the picture at the same time. Instead of like you're always going to be like with that half weird face or like your eyes are blinking or whatever. But music keeps everybody rhythmic and on beat so that you can stay together, which I think is really helpful.
That is helpful. That is helpful. One thing with me is I like to be silly. So a lot of the cosplayers who are doing more happy characters like today, I'll probably like crack jokes or something, and I'm really clumsy. So usually a lot of the more happy cosplayers and even like Deadpools, they like when I fall. They think it's great and I get more natural smiles that way. But music is a really, really good way. A lot of my boudoir marathons, all we do is just play music, and like we usually will do like a sexy album, and then if the boudoir theme is more fun, like last time I've done one, we did fairies, we did like fun preppy like album.
Yeah.
We had like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and that kind of stuff going, just to kind of like get the move going.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good point.
Definitely. But the biggest thing is study, guys, because like you can't come to a photo shoot or something like that without having thought through what you're going to do, because otherwise you're wasting kind of your time and your photographer's time because you haven't thought it through, because things come up, you know, or something doesn't work quite the way you want it, or you get to your location and you're looking and you're like, there's a really hideous truck parked right behind where we were going to shoot, so let's go do something else.
Yeah, you got to be able to think on the spot. And back to studying, if your photographer doesn't know your character, ask them to study that character
and give them some information.
Yeah, like if your photographer doesn't say, I don't know this character very well, can you send me some sample shots of what you're looking for, then that's not the photographer for you.
Yeah, no, exactly. And there has to be like open communication ahead of the shoot. It's not like we just get together the day of the shoot and that's the first time we talk about it. Like there's a conversation that goes on for a prolonged period of time. So that way we both understand what the expectation is and what we're trying to get.
We planned this YouTube video for what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
So we had 3 weeks of communication, and we're pretty close. We've worked together for years. So, I mean, we still had constant communication, and she originally was doing something else, and last night was like, hey, I have to change up. We're going to do this OC. And I was like, yes, I'm so glad. And I was ready, like I worked last night to come up with a different interview for this, because that's what photographers are supposed to do. You have to be able to think on the spot as well as with your cosplayer. So.
And I mean, that does happen sometimes, guys. Sometimes you get up and stuff just doesn't fit, or like your cat's got into it overnight or something absolutely ridiculous. Sometimes you just don't feel okay in it either, and that's okay, and sometimes you do have to change.
Yeah.
But being in the best place yourself personally is going to make your shoot the best that it can
be. And never be afraid to tell your photographer if something makes you uncomfortable.
Yes. Boundaries are important.
All right, so the next question is, what advice would you give to new cosplayers?
So the biggest piece of advice I could give to new cosplayers is to know your limits. And I know that that sounds like kind of ominous and things, but you don't want to frustrate yourself out of the joy that you get of cosplaying. And that can sometimes be really easy to do if you kind of overreach. Normally what I tell people if they'd like to get into doing something like this is start with a character that's on the simpler side, that you don't necessarily have to do a whole lot of like building for. Like you can buy the base pieces for kind of thing and put together, and then maybe pick one piece to really focus all of your intense effort on. Like if you have a prop of some sort, that's always a great thing, but that way you can focus on one thing and make it the best it can be instead of half-assing the whole thing, and then you're frustrated by the end.
That's really good advice. I really love whenever I've talked to all these cosplayers that all their advice is so different, and when you mesh it together, it's just like the perfect circle of advice. Like, it's just been great. Last thing I'm going to ask you is about your cosplay you're wearing today. Where did you get your pieces from?
So a lot of these particular pieces came from either Shein or Amazon. One of the reasons I really like using both of those is because A, they ship, and I don't have a whole lot of free time to like go look through stuff as much as I'd like. But they also have a variety of sizes and free exchanges on pretty much everything. So if you do get something that doesn't fit, you can just send it back instead of having to figure out, well, do I have to pay return shipping? How much is that going to cost? And how much is this going to end up being by the time whatever. It gets really, really problematic. This wig I actually bought secondhand from Marty Brooke Cosplay, and it's now my favorite wig.
It's really cute.
My little hair pieces, I got at Scarefest from a maker. My necklace is from a maker on Etsy. The lower necklace is from Bobby Bartlett, and I can't remember what her business name is, but I'll figure it out and have her put it in the links. My boots are from Demonia. They were my big old splurge to myself after I had a really good show because I hadn't bought anything in a while. And my tights are also Amazon. So most of this is pretty easy-ish to come by.
So next thing I want to ask you is how did you come up with the process of your cosplay name?
So that's a real long story. Cosplay names are always kind of a weird thing because you want to be known by something that people will remember, and depending on your own personal feelings that either are separate from your normal personhood or that is like a character that you play kind of thing. For me, it's kind of just an extension of the creative side, and I've always been kind of goth. But then as I've gotten older, I'm now more of like a pastel goth alt kind of thing. So that was kind of where my name came from. I've had a nickname as White Shadow of Nedge since I was like, I don't know, 12 or so. My best friend and I were both named Jenn. And at some point we did like a rock, paper, scissors, and I lost. So I was backwards Jenn, which is N-E-J. But whatever, that's where the shadow portion of it came. So I just took that from like my childhood name. And then the bright, I was thinking like light bright and stuff because I really enjoy like rave aesthetic is another thing that you'll see in like pretty much all of my costumes. I really love the rave aesthetic, and I wanted to do like light bright, like the 80s, like little
cute
thingy, but it was already taken. So my husband was like, why don't you just squish them together? Because you do dark stuff and you do really bright stuff. So ShadowBrite. I was like, yes, correct. We're going to do that. And then, so here recently, I've actually done a little bit of a change personally. I used to be ShadowBrite Cosplay, which is great, but I also have a resin business on the side as well, where I make all kinds of like little tchotchke kinds of things, and then also some cosplay accessories and things. And I've just kind of outgrown like the singular cosplay, so I just want to do creations. So A, it simplifies my life and I don't have to run 4 pages, and I think it's just nice to kind of not partition yourself off. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to be able to put things into boxes, but sometimes you just want to be like all of yourself. So that's kind of what ShadowBrite is for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I got to tell you, the first time before I even met ShadowBrite, I saw she was in this Facebook group that we were in, and I saw her name, and the first thing I thought of was when I saw your photos and then I saw your name, I didn't think of like Shadow Light Bright, I thought of Rainbow Bright.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I thought.
I definitely have a lot of that going on too, because like, yeah, I'm an 80s kid.
And if you don't know who Rainbow Bright is, look her up. She's really cute, rainbow girl, but I just thought she looked like the goth version of Rainbow Bright.
Oh, that's awesome. That would be a fun cosplay.
That would be. First thing I'm gonna have you do, I'm gonna have you lean up against here. Oh, I wish I would have brought a controller for you. I forgot my controllers.
That would be good.
It would have been. Okay, so just kind of like the way you're standing, but kind of like, let's have you move your feet to where your boots are a little bit more in focus here. So like, yeah, perfect. Let me take a step back. It'd be really cute if you brought, like, that one's really cute on that, but bring like the cat one up like you're gonna give it a kiss. That's cute. Okay, I'm gonna come closer to you. We're gonna do a little. Thank you so much for coming to our YouTube video. Again, this is ShadowBrite Creations, Miss Jen. I am Ashley. I am a professional cosplay photographer, Twitch affiliate, and TikToker. If you like this video, subscribe, like, comment below. If you didn't, thanks for the algorithm boost. Have a great day.